Hello, and welcome to our presentation on workplace violence prevention. This presentation was created by Chief Don Mueller of the Cerritos College Police Department and Dr. Mercedes Gutierrez, Vice President of Human Resources. Today's training, you will be getting me, Erin Miles, Director of Diversity Compliance in Title IX, to take you through the steps of this training. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk about workplace violence, and quickly we'll go over the agenda so you'll know what to expect. We'll be talking about how to identify and correct workplace hazards, including unsafe conditions, how to report issues of workplace violence, the process for investigating concerns and responding to actual or potential emergencies, background checks and subsequent arrests, the Cerritos College Workplace Prevention Plan, and in lieu of a Q&A, we'll be posting some emails that you can contact people for follow-up. So what is workplace violence? There's actual legal definition that we're going to go over to ensure that everyone's on the same page about what workplace violence is and what it is not. So California Labor Code, Section 6401.9, states that workplace violence is any act of violence or threat of violence that occurs in a place of employment. This includes, but is not limited to, the following: the threat or use of physical force against an employee that results in or has a high likelihood of resulting in injury, psychological trauma or stress, regardless of whether the employee sustains an injury, an incident involving a threat or use of a firearm or other dangerous weapon, including the use of common objects as weapons, regardless of whether the employee sustains an injury. And as a side note, workplace violence does not include lawful acts of self-defense or defense against others. So there's 4 types of workplace violence that we're going to go over today, and we'll start with type 1. Workplace violence committed by a person who has no legitimate business here, and includes violent acts by anyone who enters campus or approaches employees with the intent to commit a crime. An example of this would be a community member who is neither a student nor an employee who comes to campus with the intent on committing a violent crime. And as you can see, our stats for the years available reflect that there have been 0 types of these kinds of crimes on campus. Type 2 under workplace violence, this is going to be workplace violence committed that is directed at employees by customers, clients, patients, students, inmates, or visitors. An example would be a faculty member that teaches at juvenile hall and is injured when a student hits the instructor. Again, we've had 0 types of this crime in those years. Type 3, workplace violence against an employee by a present or former employee, supervisor, or manager. An example, a former employee returns to campus and assaults their former coworker. We've had 0 types of these on campus. Type 4, workplace violence committed in the workplace by a person who does not work there, but has or is known to have had a personal relationship with an employee. An example would be a former spouse of an employee returning to campus and assaults the employee/ex-spouse. And again, we've had 0 types of this on campus. So now that we've talked about the 4 types of workplace violence, let's talk about some workplace hazards. So Cerritos College does seek to ensure that all workplace hazards are identified and evaluated, and this is done by periodic inspections to identify unsafe hazards and work practices, inspections by facilities of the lights and doors, and exterior door integrity nightly by our campus PD personnel. Campus officials also assess the lighting on walkways and in parking lots, the landscaping, the need for safety surveillance such as mirrors and cameras, safe escape routes from the workplace, and the adequacy of workplace security systems, including door locks and alarm systems. So now that you know what the workplace hazards are, how do you report a concern in your area? You can contact Cerritos College PD for issues related to immediate security concerns. And for everything else, you can put in a facilities ticket. for all those physical issues, things like a broken lock, the carpet coming up, other things like that. But immediate security concerns, please contact CCPD. You can use their Rave Security app, which you can download by looking at that QR code that's posted here. So let's jump over to student issues. If you want to report a concern regarding a student, there's a couple things you can do. You can contact the CARE team, which stands for Crisis Assessment, Intervention, and Response. And the kind of issues you can send to CARE are going to be things like housing insecurity, food insecurity, or distressing or disturbing behavior. The CARE team can initiate threat assessments and a risk determination. Please know that these CARE reports are going to go to an entire team here at Cerritos College of different people with different areas of expertise who can evaluate the CARE report. You can also contact Cerritos College PD. You can do so by dialing 911 here on campus, or you can call the numbers listed. Those are 562-924-3618 if you're off campus, or here on campus 2325. And as a reminder, if you do dial 911, depending where you're on campus, it may not send you to Cerritos College PD based on cell towers and usage. You may get bounced to an outside agency, and then they would need to transfer you over to CCPD. You can also contact Student Health Services. They are at extension 2321, and that can be a great resource for mental health support, as they offer both walk-in appointments and referrals. So depending on what the situation is, these are going to be some of your 3 best options for reporting student concerns. What about employee issues? You can also utilize Cerritos College PD for serious employee concerns regarding workplace violence. Again, 911 on campus or 2325, or you can call their 562 area code number from anywhere. You can also utilize HR for issues regarding fitness for duty, things that aren't an immediate concern where you're worried about someone doing something violent, but more just a fitness for duty. I don't know if they could be coming to work over the next few weeks, things of that nature. So for HR, it can be reached at 2284. You can also refer to EAP. EAP is our employee assistance program. They can provide free confidential counseling on a limited basis. And you can contact them at 1-800-882-1341. And that is through our partnership with the Employee Assistance Program through LA County. So if you reported something to CARE or one of the other areas, what happens next? So once a matter is reported, there will be follow-up. For urgent matters, the follow-up may happen in minutes. For non-urgent matters, it's more likely to occur the next business day. A subject matter expert will look into the matter, and this may include talking to the subject of the concern. If it's about a student, that could mean reaching out to the student. The way we track some cases, there is a database we can see if there was prior reports made to get a sense of the big picture and what's going on. We also may speak to people who have relevant information. This can include other instructors that the student may have, looking to see if they're connected with anyone else on campus, for instance, if they're an athlete or in a club, anyone else who may have information that will be helpful in making a determination about how to proceed. Please know that while we genuinely appreciate the reports that come in, we cannot always provide information on what's happening. Some matters are going to be confidential, and we will loop people in on a need-to-know basis. Switching gears a bit, let's talk about Cerritos College background checks. So Ed Code Section 87013 and 88024 are going to cover the fingerprinting requirements required for our academic and non-academic employees. So we call this live scan. It's where you go over to the police station and they put we no longer use an actual ink pad, but they are going to put your fingerprints on a fancy computer screen of sorts to get your fingerprints. That is what we call the live scan fingerprinting system, and that's done through Cerritos College PD. All prospective employees must obtain a LiveScan clearance before starting in their role. All employees must get LiveScan before starting in their role. So the LiveScan results that come back will show arrests that resulted in a disposition. So these LiveScan results go to the Department of Justice, and those Department of Justice technicians perform a genuine effort to determine the disposition of every arrest for maximum accuracy. If we get one of those disposition and arrests back, Cerritos College provides everybody who has that record returned on their LiveScan report with due process and the ability to provide contextual information before making a decision on whether or not to continue with the planned hire. We don't make the decision in a vacuum without speaking to them. They always have the opportunity to come in and share their perspective. Part of what we look at is the nature of the offense, the amount of time that has passed, the relevancy to the position sought, and any campus safety concerns. So please note that once you are fingerprinted through this LiveScan process at hire, Cerritos College will, for the duration of the employment, receive a notification if the employee is subsequently arrested. If that occurs, HR will follow up with the employee, and this reach out can range from providing EAP information to scheduling a meeting to discuss the arrest and the next steps. In the event the arrest is serious in nature and presents a campus safety or security concern, additional steps may be taken. But again, the employee is always provided due process and able to share any contextual information that may be relevant. So the Workplace Violence Prevention Plan, this is something that can be found online at both the CCPD website and the HR website. If you prefer a physical copy, that is available here in HR. And that will go through a lot of what we talked about today and other details about workplace hazards and things of that nature. If you have any questions when we don't have a live Q&A available on this recorded version, you can always reach out to Don Mueller, our Chief of Police for Cerritos College PD, or Dr. Mercedes Gutierrez, Vice President of Human Resources, and both of their emails are listed below. Thank you for listening to today's presentation. Don't forget to take the 5-question quiz following this in order to get credit for listening to today's presentation. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.